welcome to another edition of Lunchtime with Southern Maryland Divers, and it's Dive Master John here. Today we're going to do dive boat etiquette, okay? Now, we're going to do this in a number of different, we're going to go over a number of different topics today. So we're going to break it down into before leaving, okay? That's the first thing we're going to talk about. Before leaving, what you want to do is we're going to talk about first, pack boat clothes. What are you going to do? First off, you need a large cap, some kind. Keep the sun off your head if you can. A large floppy hat or a baseball cap, something to keep the sun off your head, okay? And then after that, what you want to do is you want to have bring plenty of Reef safe sunscreen, okay? Now we sell that at the shop, so stop in, we can take care of you there. All right, so make sure it's the Reef safe kind, not the other kind. We don't want to be damaging the reefs. Okay. The other thing is you want to make sure you have some temperature appropriate topside wear for on the boat ride out, while you're in between dives, and the boat ride back, whatever that might be. A long sleeve t-shirt, windbreaker, heavier duty gear, depending upon the temperature, like I said, temperature appropriate. Okay. So the other thing you're going to need, you want a pair, is you want to make sure you have a pair of sunglasses. Okay, something to help break the brightness down. When you're out there on the water, it can be very bright. Another thing you want to have is an extra towel. Now a lot of boats will provide towels. Some of them don't, and even if they do, sometimes it's not enough towels. So you want to make sure you have an extra towel with you to dry yourself off, but also to dry your gear off, whether it might be your camera or whatever it is. So make sure you bring an extra towel. Another thing you want to do, oh, and by the way, we do sell those things. Another thing you want to do is you want to bring a dry bag with you, and we sell dry bags as well. So dry bags, for instance, are really good, and we sell these nice dry bags too, by the way. Dry bags are good to take care of your towel, your wallet, your phone, things like that. And this is the type of thing I'm talking about. You've probably seen me carry these things around. We sell them with our logo on them, also with other features on them as well. But these are really nice because they're very absorbent and they're very smooth. They won't damage any gear. Like if you're cleaning your camera, they're good for that as well. So these are good. Also, a dry bag is a must to have on as well. All right. So another thing to think about too when you're going out on the boat is bringing water or snacks to have on the boat, a sandwich or whatever. And again, it depends on the boat. Some boats provide water and snacks, others don't. So make sure you check before you go out with the boat. Another thing you want to think about too is seasickness medication. Now, Dramamine, also the patches, don't take them when you get on the boat. Do that the night before, okay? That's an important point because that medicine takes a while. You want to start taking that the night before, otherwise it's too late, all right, to start taking that stuff the morning of. You can walk the morning out there, not good. And if you do feel the urge to feed the fish, and all of us have at one time or another, if a diver tells you they haven't fed the fish, they're lying to you. Probably lie about peeing in their wetsuit too. But what you want to do is go to the leeward side of the boat. You want to make sure the wind is at your back because you don't want to feed the fish with the wind coming back at you again. Okay, so go towards the back of the boat, the leeward side of the boat, and take care of business there. Just a hint. Okay? Now, so when you get on the boat, one of the first things you want to do is be on time. Now, I want to make a comment here. You know, I'm trying to teach people about this, and this is probably a point where I should talk about the old saw that those that can't teach. In most cases, that's probably not true, but in this one particular case, it probably is. Those of you who've been diving with me know that a little bit well, but be on time, and as a matter of fact, you want to try and be a little bit early. You don't want to be the guy that the boat is waiting on. It never ends well for you. So be on time or be early. Second thing you want to do is once you get on there, once you get your spot either assigned to you, you grab your spot, you want to make sure that you get your gear set up. Set your gear up, take care of business, get it all tied away, and then get your fins out. You know, you take your fins out, you get everything set up, and you set everything aside, and you stow everything away. And you keep it all tight in your area. You get your gear all stowed away, you get it all taken care of, okay? And you're set, okay? Now you take care of your camera, you get your camera, put that in the camera bucket. You find a dry area. Some boats have dry areas up front, some of them don't. So any dry things you want to keep dry, you put those up the front of the dry area. You take your dry bag, you may have to put your dry bag up towards the front of the boat if it has one. If it doesn't, well, then it stays in your bag in your dry bag. If it doesn't, if they have a dry area, then you take a dry bag and you put it up front in the dry area. Okay, so it depends upon what the boat has. Now the next thing is the boat's underway. You're moving along, and they call the dive briefing. Okay, now pay attention, and this is important. It's not whether you've done the dive 100 times or 1,000 times or it's your first time. Pay attention. They're going to go over a number of things, safety features of the boat, where the life jackets are, things like that. They're also going to go over emergency procedures, what happens if the boat sinks and becomes the newest wreck to be dove on wherever you are, or and then what's going to happen as far as boat rules are concerned. They're going to talk about what to do with trash, how the head works if they have one, where you can go, where you can't go, if there's any no-go areas on the boat, things like that. They're also going to talk about the dives that are going to be going on. They're going to do the dive. They're going to talk about what they're going to do on the dive briefing, and follow that. Pay attention. So it means give the man or woman the full attention, okay? And give him the courtesy of that. And it's also important for you to know what's going on, if anything has changed, and also so other people can hear what's going on. So you're not back there jibber-jabbering, or it's important to pay attention to those folks, right? Now the other thing is, you go on the dive, one of the other things that they're going to talk about is use the correct rinse tanks. Most of the boats will have two different rinse tanks, one for masks and one for cameras. Do not mix them up, okay? Masks, you put a lot of defog on masks of different natures. It can be anything from spit to paid masks, or just simple like detergent can be on the masks. They go in the mask tank. In the camera tank, none of that is there. If you wind up rinsing your mask in the camera, and you wind up putting your mask in the camera tank, all that stuff gets off and winds up on the lens of the cameras that are in that tank, and it causes distortion on the lens. So all those people who have all that money invested in cameras and are taking pictures, it winds up adhering to the lens and distorts the image. So don't be that guy. Keep your mask in the mask tank and the cameras in the camera. Okay? Now, the other thing you want to do is keep your stuff organized. Stay organized. Keep your dry stuff in the dry area, and that means don't go up there all dripping wet to the dry area, and get everybody's towels wet, or their whatever wet. Keep your stuff organized. Find your fins. Make sure everything's always stowed away underneath. If you have a camera, if they have a camera table, put your camera on the camera table, and don't put other stuff on the camera table. That's not what it's for. Okay. So just keep your gear tight and organized. Okay. When you spread everything out, it causes a tripping hazard. It can wind up going overboard. There's a lot of things that can happen, and you lose track of it. It's just not. It's not healthy. It's not safe, and it's not fair to the people around you who will also need space to keep their gear up, the kit up as well. Okay. So another thing that happens too, in terms of being on a boat too, is
rinse station? Well, some boats have them, some boats don't. Okay, if they have a rinse station, it's usually a hose with a freshwater tank. It's for rinsing, not for taking a shower. Okay, you don't stand there and take a long shower with it. It's for just rinsing off the salt water off your face and your hands, and then you can dry yourself off a little bit. It's not a gear rinse. It's not the time to rinse your gear off. Okay, that's not what it's for. It's just for a quick rinse to get the salt off yourself. Okay, or the mud, depending upon what you've been doing out there. All right. Now the other thing to do is, if you're on the boat, is help the crew if needed. If people are coming up out of the water, for instance, and they're busy and they're handing up fins or masks, and you want to help the crew grab the mask, and you know where they're going, the masks go in the mask bucket, and you know where the fins are going. Instead of just flinging them around, you want to put them on somebody's station where they're sitting. Great, help out. If not, get out of the way. Okay, the only thing you're doing is preventing somebody from coming up out of the water fully loaded on a boat. Get out of the way and stay out of the way. All right, so that's on the boat. Now when you get off the boat, okay, the dive is over, the trip is over, it's time to get back to shore. What you want to do is, if you've been a good boy or girl the whole time, you've got your gear stowed. Okay, you've taken everything apart. You've got your BC off your tank. You put it all together. You've got it all in your dive bag. Everything's all packed away. Now, if you're on one of those week-long cruises or one of those week-long dive trips, you may want you to leave some stuff on the boat, and the dive masters are going to take care of it. Great. If not, whatever you're supposed to take off the boat, it goes into your dive bag. You get it. You're all taken care of. Okay. And it's a lot easier if you've kept it stowed. You don't have to wander around the boat for all your stuff. Everything's all together and already packed. Okay. You're ready to go. Now, you're ready to get off the boat. Help out if needed. Sometimes the dive masters are running around, things are happening, you want to help out. You can help police for trash. You can help check for any gear that may be laying around. You see a piece of gear, hey, somebody left their mask here, or there's a set of fins over there. Be alert and help if needed. Otherwise, get off the boat as quickly as you can, okay? And let the dive masters do their job, all right? Now, the other thing that comes up, the other big thing that comes up is tipping. What do you tip these guys? Well, glad you asked. Tipping varies. It's a mystery. It's like E equals MC squared. It depends on where you are, okay, in the world, and it varies from island to island, from place to place. But in general, what I tell you to do is ask. It's the best thing to do. When you show up at a place, ask at the dive shop, what are the tipping policies? And they will gladly tell you what the tipping policies are, okay? But usually it runs 10% of whatever the dive trip is. That's a good rule of thumb. 10% of what the dive trip is. If it's really great service, you might want to go 15%, okay? Some places it's $10 a tank. Think of it that way. Some places in the world, there's no tipping. They don't want tipping, okay? Some places you tip after every dive. Some places you tip at the end of the week. So it really is a variable. And again, it varies. So make sure you ask when you get to the location that you're going to be diving at, and ask. Sometimes you pay the captain, and he distributes the money. Sometimes you tip at the shop, okay? And they take care of distributing the money, because you may be paying on a week on a different boat every day, or the crews may change, and the shop takes care of that, and they distribute the money accordingly. Another thing to do is don't forget about the tank monkeys, the guys that are dragging the tanks down to the boats. A lot of times those guys get forgotten. I always check and talk to those guys and find out if they see any of the proceeds from that. And a lot of times they don't. So I'll slip them some money as well. You slip the crowd over $20 and $30 or something, or $40 or something, and give them, depending upon what's been going on, and give them some money for some beer. Okay, they appreciate it. And another point to make about tipping too is if you've been going to the same place all the time, let's say we go down to the Mayan Princess all the time, and it's the same crew down there all the time, a lot from year to year, and you've gotten to know some of the people down there. There's other things you can give them besides money. There's T-shirts, or if you have an older gear, some of it, over the course of time, you may build up a collection of, let's say, computers and dive computers in your collection box. Don't be afraid to, if you want to give away one of those to someone. Okay, they are deeply appreciated by those folks because they don't always have access to the latest and greatest, and they don't necessarily have the money to spend on those types of things. Okay, so that's another tip. You can really make somebody's day by donating some gear to them. Okay, so in general, keep in mind, keep your gear tight, keep it rolled up tight, keep yourself together on the boat. Okay, be courteous to those folks. They work hard, and be polite. Be polite to your seatmates. You don't always know them all the time. And a lot of times when you come down with a crowd from the shop, we usually know each other, so it's a lot more loose. But if you're going down by yourself on a trip, a lot of times you don't know the people around you. It may take some time to get to know those folks. So be courteous, be polite to everyone, and you're going to find that you have a great time on the boat. Now, I will make another point to you. Underwater, you're on a boat, you're in the Caribbean and underwater. One of the things to make your dive master happy underwater is, unless you've made other arrangements, stay in bubble sight of the group or the guy. Okay, he's working real hard to make sure all of his little hens stay together. He's responsible to get you out, have a good time in the water, and get back. So stay in sight of those guys. That's probably a topic for another topic is underwater etiquette. Maybe we'll make that another topic for another day. But anyway, I hope this helps some of you. Matter of fact, having been on a boat with some people, I know it should help some of you. And in that case, I guess we'll talk to you Wednesday. We'll have another topic for you on Wednesday. Have a great day, guys. Bye.